In 2010, TxDOT became aware of some unusual events involving brown pelicans on State Highway 48, which connects Port Isabel with Brownsville. In strong north wind cold fronts, the birds were brought down onto the bridge as they tried to reach their roosting sites located in the Bahia Grande. During the weather events, the birds would crash down onto the roadway, become helpless, and were unable to fly from danger. The large birds were hit and killed by motorists. In the worst one-time event in 2016, 80 brown pelicans perished.
We also had a safety issue. The cars driving into the pelicans, you could cause an accident. And later on, we also had volunteers coming out trying to save the pelicans. So we also had a public safety issue there with people walking out on the road during inclement weather. So we figured out that it was winter storm events, cold fronts, high wind.
In response to a similar situation in Florida, poles were erected that forced the birds to fly higher above the danger. TxDOT also installed these pelican poles, but while they helped the situation, pelicans continued to crash land on the bridge during windy cold fronts. And that's when the Texas A&M Transportation Institute was hired.
The first thing that we decided to do was to do some wind tunnel experiments, build a scale model of the roadway based upon some thinking about the design of the barriers that were in place at the time, just to see what the wind conditions would be like over that roadway and to kind of think about how they might affect the birds flying over the roadway. That was the first time that we really discovered there's some unusual wind conditions over that bridge that are forcing them to stall in flight and land on the roadway.
And that spurred an interest in looking at, well, would different traffic barriers change the air dynamics?
TxDOT have replaced the barriers that border the Bahia Grande and SH-48, and particularly the Carl Gaiman Bridge, and they've replaced the concrete traffic barriers with a railing type design, and what we hope is that that's going to reduce the effect of the wind across the bridge. We're hoping that it will be reduced just enough that it will really prevent a significant number of mortalities.
In addition to replacing these existing road barriers with these pelican-friendly railing designs, TTI also conducted a GPS study looking at the birds' flight patterns and other behaviors in an overall attempt to save more lives.
It's something that needs to be looked at when we're developing projects, especially over waterways and the flights of birds, so that we don't impact the ecological system.
What we've learned, in particular about the pelican, but also about how wind patterns are affected by bridge decks, would certainly have other applications in other districts and certainly other states and around the world.
I hope that what TTI is contributing to here is an enthusiasm and some methodology to generally solve these transportation environmental issues, to look at them in new ways and to find creative ways of understanding the problem first and then creative ways of then solving the problem.
For more information and to find the publications for this project, please visit the TxDOT Research Library at the link shown below.